Hello there. In today's video, I want to show you how you can make these little cotton balls. They're little tiny, as you can see from my fingernail. Very, very tiny, and I decided to put them in this wreath because the wreath was just too thorny. So I decided to put those in, and what I'm doing here is making a whole collection of wreaths. So I wanted to show you how I do the little 3D cotton balls. So what you'll need is just some kind of cotton. I'm using a cotton, a Q-tip, because that's, for one thing, that's what I have on hand. And plus I don't need very much because these are teeny tiny. So all I do is I just clip a piece of it off. And it doesn't have to be round or anything right at first. And then it's kind of tedious, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty good. And then I decide where I want to put it. So as I'm going around the wreath, I'm thinking about putting it here to kind of give it more balance. And then what you want to do, if I can find my needle here, what you want to do is, okay, I'm going to try to stay in frame here for you guys. Take your needle and pierce it right in the middle, holding this down, otherwise it's going to come up with your needle. And then what you're wanting to do is make kind of a crisscross shape, because if you notice, cotton, real cotton stems, they have these sharp little triangle actually leaves that hold the cluster of the cotton. So that's what we're trying to mimic here with thread, and you can use any thread. I use this brown only because it's going in the wreath that is brown, so I didn't want a bright green or anything like that, but you can use like a dark olive green or brown. And I also, a little trick here, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm using two different colors of thread. So I have this kind of honey color and then a dark brown. That's what I'm using. I did the same with the leaves here that match. Okay, so you come up through and make a little cross, and we're going to do that again. Now you can just do a big X all the way across, but I like to pierce the actual cotton just to kind of keep it a little bit more sturdy. But otherwise, and some of them when I first started doing this, I just did it this way, you know, and then this way. But I like the looks of this only because if you study the top of a real cotton ball, you will see that it doesn't go all the way across. And it really didn't even go this far in, but I wanted it to really show. And I'll show you an example here. Okay, so that's what you do for a cotton ball. Now, let's see, right here is an example of just going through a cross, just making a cross through it there as well. And then as I started doing this, I started creating this just kind of out of my mind or what was in my mind's eye. And then I thought, well, I want to get these really, really good before I show y'all. So, and then you can decide which one you want. There's so many little hairs tucked in or threads from the jute. I just put jute in here, and then I did the couch stitch to keep it down. And then I just did little tiny vines using one thread going through and just made like little thorns and stuff like that. But here, and then I added leaves because see, this right here looks kind of plain. So that's how I did that. But anyway, for the leaf, all I do, the leaf is real simple. You just make, for something this tiny, there's different ways to make a leaf stitch, but all I do is make little tiny V's. V as in Victor. And that's all I do for that. And then I go up, I just keep going up, as you can see. Hopefully you can see this. This is real tiny stitching. I'm trying my best to get this where you can see. And see, as I go up into the leaf, I start getting smaller and smaller, so it'll create kind of like a point at the tip, just like leaves have. And I caught some of the cotton, and that'll happen too. Okay, so what I do now is I just do kind of a straight stitch at the top, and then I want to make sure that's connected. So I may do another little tiny stitch here. And complete that little leaf. So that's all you do. Let's make another one, and that way you can see this process again. I think one needs to go right about there. So we're going to take this and my scissors, if I can find them. Okay, and we're just going to cut off a little piece, and I just kind of pull it up a little bit to make it loose, and then I cut it. So it's about the size of a pencil eraser, the top of a pencil eraser, a little bit smaller, probably half the size. And I just kind of form it into a little round, more of a round shape. And here's another way you can do it. If you have your needle up, just be very careful. You can just kind of pierce that through like that. As long as you hold it down. See, if you don't hold it down, it's going to come up with your needle. So you're just going to want to hold it down. Just like that. And just keep its shape. And I kind of keep the shape with my needle as I go around. And then you're going to want to tack that down. Now you can grab the edge of that cotton if you want. Just a very teeny tiny bit. I hope you can see that. Or you can just go down if you think it'll hold. And then once you get that first tack down, then you're good to go. You don't have to keep holding the cotton. I do just to kind of steady it and keep its shape. And that's what another thing you're gonna want to do is kind of keep it, rework the shape with your fingers as you go, so it doesn't get disproportionate. Is that the word I'm trying to say? It's so hard to work and talk at the same time here. Okay, so that's why a lot of my videos just have music. So see here, I almost met at the end. I might as well have cross-hatched it. But we'll try to fix that here in a minute. And then if you really want your stitches to show, don't pull your thread so hard. So don't pull it so tight. So see, you can keep it real loose like that, and that way it'll show. And let me go up here, and I'm going to try to grab just the end of that. Although that didn't really work because we got cotton on our thread, and you have to be careful with that too, because you don't want this to cause a tangle in your thread. And let's just shape this a little bit more, one more time. before we tack down the final stitch. Just like that. And then we'll add a leaf. Let's see, let's go down here and add that little V. Here's another way we can do a leaf, and I'll go ahead and show you. But also, I have a little fun game for us. If you've watched this all the way to, almost the end, then you will get to have the pleasure of playing this game with me. So inside this little wreath, I have hidden a little tiny thimble. And if you can find it, let me know in the comments. You can say something like, I found it, or leave me a little needle and thread emoji to let me know that you found it. But don't say where it is in the wreath, because that will spoil the fun for everyone else. So let me know if you found it. I'm going to start doing little treasure hunts in my videos so y'all can find things, and it will always have something to do with what I am working on. So if you find the little thimble, let me know in the comments. And it's real camouflage, so you have to really, really look closely. Okay, so see, as you can see here for this leaf, I did my stem for the leaf first. Now I'm just doing the shape, and I'm meeting my needle and thread in the middle. And you just do smaller and smaller lines as you go up until you create your little leaf. Almost finished here. And then I'm going to create more of these cotton balls, but I'm going to do it off camera. See, I just kind of go over to the middle like that for my leaf. So there's two ways to do a leaf. You can do one like this, but when working in miniature, I like the smaller one a little bit better. Or you can do one like this. I hope this can be seen better. Okay, so that's what I like to do, and I will continue to wrap some more little cotton balls all the way around here until it meets, and then I'll show you later. But I'm working on this, like I said, I'm working on this little sampler piece, and so many of you have asked me what kind of material this is. This is just regular canvas cotton. It's also the same stuff that you can get from Painter's drop cloth, a medium weight. So that's all this is. And I like it because it frays, and I love frayed edges and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and every Friday I'm going to do something like this. It'll be either a stitch with me or some kind of little either embroidery or cross stitch project, but I want to show both beginner stitches and more advanced things like this. So I'm going to do a little bit more 3D work and show you how you can achieve something like this. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. If you stayed the whole way, thank you so much. And if you would be so kind to give it a thumbs up, I would forever be grateful. But don't forget to mention in the comments if you found the thimble, and if so, give me a little, either a needle and thread emoji, or just say, I found it, and I will know that you found it, but don't give it away where it is. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.